Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl, coming at you with another pick a card reading. Today we are going to do what would they say right now to you about where you are. Yeah, I feel like this is just a channeled message from source. We'll find out more about it. But first and foremost, I do just want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that has joined the channel, who has supported this channel in any one way, shape, or form. I'm so honored to have you here. And I just want you to know how much it means to me. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we are all human, and this is for you to come as you are, as your most authentic self in this here, now, here moment. And if you guys are interested in supporting the channel further, you will find all the links necessary down below in the description box, where you can send me an email for a personal reading where I will get you out scheduling options as well as further information. And you can follow me on over to my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, where it's just a fun, chill hangout session with yours truly. And I honestly hope to see you there. Awesome. So today we still have the same affirmation as yesterday's reading. I am beautiful both inside and out. That's just because I didn't have time to do another one. So yeah, we're just going to go with it. I feel like it's just a good reminder to us that we are all amazing as we are in this here, now, here moment. We are enough where we are. Let's see. We are going to choose from the Intuition Oracle. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and start with our prayer. I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything set and everything in a row. I don't really have any news today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Awesome. My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this video. I ask that you guide them on their journey right now, that maybe they are going through some difficulties, or maybe they're worried about what people are thinking or how people are perceiving them on the journey because they've chosen themselves. And sometimes that can be the scariest step that we take. So I ask that you instill courage within their hearts to remind them that that is exactly the purpose of our lives, is to do the things that others have a difficulty doing, right? To be unique means that we step outside of what is normal day-to-day routine. So I ask that you remind each and every one of us that. You remind us of how strong we truly are and how brave we are for taking that step, for taking that leap of faith, and trusting and knowing that one day you will be able to meet us halfway, even if that takes a while. Manifestations don't always come overnight, and some do, and some come instantaneously. But knowing that if we're making a humongous change in our lives, and when others are saying that we're wrong, sometimes it's hard to believe that we're right. And so this is where I ask that you bring us support. This is where I ask that you hold us tight and remind us that to be right means to be with oneself and not to be with what everyone says is right. As these words are spoken, so shall they be. Amen, aho, ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and get this set up over here. I keep hearing right now that statement, like, if this is wrong, then I don't want to be right. I think it's a quote from a movie, but I can't even tell you what movie it's from. I just keep hearing it over and over again. Yeah, they're saying, yep, that's the truth. Okay. So let's go ahead and get one of these out on it. Let me give these a shuffle real quick here. All right. Thank you, source. Ow. Cut my nail. Ow. All right, so source, for pile number 1, what oracle card will help us understand better what people would say to pile 1 about where they are right now? Okay, thank you. All right, and for pile number 2, source, what oracle card will help us understand better about what people would say to where pile 2 is right now. Okay, thank you. All right. And for pile number 3, source, what oracle card will help us understand what people would say about where pile 3 is right now? Okay, thank you. Since it's such a long question, I need to ask it first. And then on the bottom, we do have the persistent. I hold fast to my goals and ideals as I persevere. I feel like this is a message from source saying you are persevering. No matter how it may look, you are persevering, okay? So let me go ahead and get this set up. So today is Choose Your Dice Day. Okay. So for pile number 1, we do have these dice here. Okay. And for pile number 2, we have these dice here. Okay, and for pile number 3, we have these dice here. Okay. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever pile you're drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And with that being said, I will see you over on your chosen pile. Hello, my fellow human. If you chose this set of dice, then this is going to be your pile. First things first, keeping in mind that these are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave what does not, knowing that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to directly connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box down below where you will find the links necessary to send me an email for a private reading, which I will get you out further information as well as scheduling options. And also a link to my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, which is just a fun, chill hangout session with yours truly. And I do hope to see you there. So today with the dice, we're actually going to tap into your energy with the dice. Okay? And then we will find out more about what people would say about where you are right now with the tarot cards. Okay? Just so you know that this is the reading that's meant for you. All right? Awesome. Is that everything? I think so. So let's go ahead and get into it. And source, what can you tell us about pile number 1 so that they know that this is their pile? What messages can you give us about pile number 1 so that they know that they've chosen the right pile, source? Okay. So we do have Leo, Saturn, and the first house. So a lot of expressive energy. You're someone who's willing to express themselves, and I feel like this is only after having been oppressed for a portion of your life, having to deal with burdens and obstacles and blockages. I feel like there was a point in your life where it was very difficult for you to just be you. Like if you were your authentic self, there were moments where you would get either chastised or ridiculed because of that. Where people would maybe make fun of you or make you feel like less than. And you're in a place right now, currently, where you are extremely, extremely centered in your individuality. And you're very expressive about who you are. You're very independent. You are all about taking care of self, which is a very powerful place to be in. You're also finding a new place where you're experiencing new beginnings all the time and opportunities, right? You make a phenomenal first impression, like one that resonates with people for a very long time. They never forget that they met you, pile 1. And it's how you view the world is a very unique way. Like, you don't see things the way other people do. You stand out, right? Sometimes you stick out like a sore thumb, but you don't care anymore. Like, especially with Saturn here, it's like you sacrificed wanting to fit in so that you could be who you are. It's like you talk about things that people don't talk about. You're really playful, you're goofy, but you're also a leader. You're not afraid to get in touch with your inner child and talk about getting in touch with your inner child with others, right? Sometimes you are the center of attention. It's not that you're seeking that. It's just because of your personality. You stand out so much that you draw a lot of attention. You're very charismatic and generous and confident. It's a very confident energy coming through here. Some people might think that you are vain and egotistical, or that you might be dominating when you come into a room, but these are people who are living in their shadow. Okay, these are people who see you as a threat or see you as someone who's intimidating, and they don't like that energy, right? This to me is telling me that you've come into a place of becoming balanced and letting go of this, I can't do that, I can't do that. Instead, asking yourself, why not me? And now you're living that journey. Why not me? Why not? Why don't I get to stand out? Why don't I get to be who I am? Why can't I speak my truth? And you very much are. You're warm, you're outgoing, you're happy, right? You're artistic, you're fun. People like to be around you. You're getting recognition because of who you are. But that didn't just come on a whim, did it? No, 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 Pile 1. It came because you're very disciplined. You have a lot of structure in your life. You've taken the time to get to know yourself in such a way that you're working tirelessly towards your journey, right? And it's just working for you. It's helping you out so much. You've let go of feeling like you're obligated to be somebody that you're not. You take on responsibility, you take it very seriously, you look at your obstacles as a part of the journey, which they so are, and you're willing to see that as a part of the journey, and that's what helps you continue to express yourself in a very profound way, right? You may seem like you're very traditional, but I feel like you're not. I feel like you come across as traditional, but you're unconventional at most times. And so you just stand out, and that's what's very noticeable about you right now, okay? So that's what I've got for your energy. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way, and we'll find out more about what people would say about where you are right now. And this is if they feel like they could, right? Like, this is their secret thoughts, basically. We're tapping into. And really quick, just remember that we are tapping into others' energy and their perspective on life and their rose-colored glasses of how they see you. That does not make it the truth of who you are, okay? So keeping that in mind as we move forward. Okay, so Source, what would people say to Pile 1 right now about where they are? What would people say if they could? What would people say about where Pile 1 is right now if they could? Thank you, Source. What would people say about where Pile 1 is right now if they could? Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so Source, what would people say about where Pile number 1 is right now if they could? Okay, thank you. What would people say? Thank you. Okay. All right. What would people say about where Pile number 1 is right now if they could, Source? Okay, thank you. Okay, and on the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Swords in the upright. So they would say that, like, this is an interesting energy. That this is new. This is new to you. This is not who you used to be, right? It's not that it's wrong, right? But they say it's not who you used to be. Yeah, you used to be someone who is brokenhearted and hurt and feeling stuck in life. And now you're taking steps to being a different version of yourself, right? Yeah, getting out of peer pressure. Like, they're no longer able to pressure you into being a certain way. Wasn't that what we were talking about? Like, oh, it's so funny. The four of Swords literally talks about being pressured by your peers. So it talks about, right? We're talking about how it's like, I'm no longer pressured by society or no longer worried about what society thinks of who I should be. And so you're coming up into who you are. Okay. Let's see what they're saying here. All right. So I did get this with the Four of Wands. I didn't say it, but now it's pretty clear. This is like a group of people who knew you with an ex, okay? And your ex included. All right. So they feel, okay, again, this is what they would say if they could, right? And so remember, this is not the truth of the situation. This is just their opinions, and you know, everybody's got an opinion. It doesn't make it true. It's just their opinion, and that's on them. Okay? Because what's about to come through can be very triggering, or seen as very triggering, but they're saying that you don't want to love anybody because who you were with before maybe broke your heart, and they're saying that even though they broke your heart, that you were the one that maybe stepped out on them, right? With the Lover coming out in the reverse here, it's talking about promiscuity. Okay, so people would say to you like, well, if you hadn't have stepped out on your ex, maybe things would be a lot different. If you hadn't have cheated on them. And interesting. So I picked up, hold on, let me get this for you. I picked up the other deck and these 3 cards were left. We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is referring to being in a player situation. This is referring to being in a player situation. The 4 of Wands in the reverse. These are talking about romantic frustrations, broken hearts. These are talking about things that, you know, people don't want to talk about because there was somebody in the situation who stepped out. Look, we have the Lovers and the 5 of Cups coming out together. Yeah, so they're saying that you chose to step out on somebody with a friend. Okay, that's what they're saying. But I feel like this is because they're only hearing one half of the story. I feel like when you left a situation here, you weren't able to tell your side of the story. And so they were left with whatever this person was going to say about you. And you just had to be okay with that. Right? It was like part of like, I just have to be okay with whatever they're going to say about me because I don't have a choice here. It's interesting that when I picked up the deck, this is what was left behind were these 3 cards. And talking about exactly what I was saying here. They're saying like, oh, you were a player in the situation. You broke somebody's heart here. It was a one-sided love. You know, and on the off side, on the off chance, this could be them saying about this about your ex. Oh, well, you're the one that loves so deeply. Like, you were the only one that put in a lot of effort to this situation. And they were just blind to it. They had nothing to give to you, right? But I do feel like this is what they would tell you if they could, is that they saw or they heard that you stepped out on the relationship and that you really didn't love them the way that you said you did because you didn't have anything to give to them. And so now you're changing what I was saying earlier. You're changing your ways and this is new to you. And so you're no longer being pressured by family and friends and they're not able to get to you the way that they did before. So I feel like also they would say here that you felt pressured to do this by whoever you were with. They would tell you, oh, your ex pressured you into doing this. Like, we don't blame you for doing this, but we would tell you that we know about this and that we feel like your ex pressured you into doing this. But look, here's the thing, like for your identity to be something that comes up as this is you. You've been working on your identity, right? You've been working on who you are. For that to be the thing that comes out, look, I split the deck and we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, they're saying that this relationship was fated from the start. Neither one of you had anything to give to the other. You were both emotionally distant. You both weren't able to love each other the way love was needed, and you were both feeling very controlling of the situation. And so you moved on to better things. You moved on to bigger things. But that type of energy, yeah, why wouldn't you? You know, especially when you choose yourself, like you choose yourself in a situation that's really difficult. It's like you have to move on. You have to choose yourself knowing that you're going to move on, right? That something obviously has to be better than this, or at least you hope it is, right? But that's what they would tell you if they could. They would tell you that they know that somebody stepped out in this situation. Yes, it could be you. Yes, it could be the other person. But they're saying that there was absolutely cheating involved in this. And that they think that you didn't love this person as much as you said you did. And that's why you're in this new position. Like, you're still defending yourself from the past. You're still in a place where you don't want to give to anybody because of the past. Or like, maybe these are the people who are saying this, like, you're not willing to invite them back in because they were really connected with you and this person. And that's why you're kind of like, nope, that's an old chapter of my life. Like, why would I invite them back in? And I feel like these people don't even actually know, like, where you're at, right? They don't know. They're not aware of you being so grounded in your identity or how you're feeling about yourself. They're in a place right now where they're thinking, oh, this is brand new for pile one. And in reality, it's not. This is something that you've been focusing on for quite a while. And so there's this misconcept here, right? That, oh, you're just overcoming now patterns of the past. No, this is something you've overcome a long time ago. But now you're in a place where, even though this may feel new to them, you're still in a place where you're like, I'm not going to reconnect with past energy just on the off chance that you've done your healing. That's not how this works for me anymore. I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I'm moving on to things that actually serve me on my journey, right? And so, but I keep feeling like they think you're the one that's cheated. And that's what I'm saying, like, don't get too upset about that, because the thing is that if you had to leave an awful situation, you're the one that left, right? You didn't get to tell your story. You didn't get to say what was necessary on your side. You didn't get to share your side of the experience. So they only heard one side of the experience. And so there's no need to feel frustrated, like, oh, they think I'm the cheater. They don't even know what I went through. Like, hello, they don't know what you went through, nor do they know what you're experiencing right now. That's exactly right. Do they have a right to say these things? You know, at the end of the day, we can say, oh, it's wrong that people are gossiping. It's wrong that people are saying things. You can always say that. But in honest, the truth is that none of us have control over what comes out of another person's mouth. So right or wrong, it doesn't matter. That's not what we should focus on. It's focusing on the fact that, oh, okay, so this is what people would say about where you are right now, because they don't know the truth of what you've been through. Okay, so they're just saying, oh, this is brand new to pile one. Like, they're just now getting their feet, on the ground. They're still uncertain if this is the way that they should go. And they don't realize the wisdom that you've gained from taking this sabbatical from this connection, taking this time off, or just leaving it all together. They don't realize. Instead they're in this place thinking that you're putting your hopes and dreams on hold because you're trying to figure out why someone would treat you the way that they did, or why this connection failed. And in truth, like, you're in a place where you're like, no, like I just don't involve people that I know in my current life because they were never there for me. Yeah. They would say that they think that you were spiritually broken when you came into this person's life. And that's why you attracted each other, because you both were spiritually broken. And that neither one of you wanted to conform to the other. No one wanted to compromise. They would say that if they could, they would say that you didn't want to compromise, and that's why it had to end. And that you felt like it was too much responsibility for what it was. There was too much responsibility involved here. And in reality, what it feels like to me, pile one. One second, I need a drink of water. Excuse me. What it feels like is that you were given emotional responsibility over this person. Like, this person expected you to understand them 100% of the time, to take accountability for how they were feeling, and to carry them emotionally the whole way, right? And in truth, they didn't show that side of themselves to everyone else. So no one ever got to experience that side of this person. You did, but they didn't. And so here you have 10, 10 coming through here, right? And this is saying this connection, this situation is actually what led you towards your path of purpose. You were meant to go into hermit mode all along, right? And I feel like this person forced you into a state of either celibacy or actually really focusing on who you choose to spend your time with, either in a sexual manner or just in, you know, like on dates or anything like that. But instead of being your own worst enemy here, you're actually moving forward. You've gained a lot of confidence, and that may be what's new for you, is living in this state of constant confidence, right? And like wondering, is somebody going to come in and try and knock me off my confidence? Is someone going to come in and make me feel the way that this person did? And what Source is saying here is that you've healed from this situation. You are not actually in a position of being new to it. You're in a position of defending yourself and using your discernment as a defense system for your journey, right? So let's get some oracle cards out on it. Thank you. Yeah, you've changed with Chameleon number 33 coming through here. You've changed a lot. You're no longer trying to blend in or feeling like you need to blend in. Hello. Right? Like at one point you did feel like you needed to blend in, and that's what all these people knew you as, the blended in version of yourself. What did I say? You're embracing new beginnings. We said that at the very beginning, and we have dawn coming through here with new beginnings. It's always darkest before dawn. You went through the darkness, you experienced the darkness, and now you're coming through it, right? Okay, I guess you're getting two of those. We have dolphin spirit with this and that are true. Both sides are equally true. It's just, again, someone's truth doesn't necessarily make that everyone's truth, right? And it's just seeing it from this perspective of, okay, well, if that's what makes them feel better and understand the situation, let them. Because at this point, I don't really see you coming back and saying, oh, let me correct the story for you. Your success will correct the story for them in time, and maybe it won't. We have house 3, early learning, childhood relations, the rational mind, and communication. This is saying that you were going after what you were comfortable with from your childhood, right? So you were reliving those traumas from your childhood, which is why you connected with this person. So we have cat, intuition. Yeah, you're a very intuitive person now. Like you're not questioning how your intuition is playing a part in your life. You're just following it and going with that. And letting go of the anger and the hostility and the volatility that was happening in your life. It's almost like when you broke up with this person or when this connection ended, like it could have been a friendship, it could have been anything really. It does feel like a love situation here, but it could have been anything. This could have been a family situationship or anything. There's a lot of anger from other people that you left, right? And it was like that was Source playing a hand in their healing. Because you were carrying not only this person's emotional well-being, you were trying to carry everybody else's as well. You're an empath by nature. And the thing is here is that when you're carrying so much emotional weight like that, it becomes too overbearing. And you're the only one that experiences hardships from it while everyone else is getting a clean slate because you're taking it on and trying to transmute that energy for them. And so when you left, they realized there was a lot of anger here. There's a lot of hostility that came out, whether that was from your ex or from the people that were connected to your ex, right? Swan spirit, time for a deep dive. Yeah, this is Source just clarifying what I just said. Like it was up to them to go dive deeper. And that's what I feel like they would tell you too, is like, oh, we're angry that you left. Well, okay. But you had to save yourself. There's like a need to save self here, right? That's been made clear with cards. It's like, if you're not, why are people going to get mad at you for saving yourself? Like, they would want to save themselves for a situation, but the truth is that they're in a vibration where they might not see the need to save themselves because they'd rather stay comfortable in an uncomfortable situation than to stretch their comfort zone. Bat spirit, a rebirth is assured. Number 5, yeah, again, this idea that you changed. You rebirthed yourself. You changed your perspective too with the bat hanging upside down here. We have Gemini, curiosity, intellect, and networking. And now you're networking. And plus, wasn't that something that came through is that you got connected with somebody that you were networking with, a friend? right? And that's, again, this idea they're saying, oh, well, that's why you left. You left because you were more interested in a friend. But I feel like you needed your friends to support you, and that's why you went towards your friends. Mars, move forward and defend self. Yeah, again, this hostility coming through. Like, I do feel like you want to defend yourself in this situation too. You want to be heard, of course. Of course you do, but it's also Source coming through and saying, like, don't worry about defending yourself. I'll defend you for you. Right? Because sometimes we don't get to see the retribution of others' actions or their words or what they're saying. Let's get some channeled messages out on it, Source. Okay? Alright. Okay, so we have Lyrian. Drawn to Egypt, strong root and sacral chakra. Okay, so my right to belong and my right to feel, right? Especially if you have Lyrian, or if you're drawn to Lyrian energy, this is saying that you do have a strong root and a sacral chakra, saying that you know that you belong and you have a right to feel the way that you feel. You're not going to apologize for that. And that's what's building here as you build your identity, right? And your self-worth and your confidence. Can't get you off my mind. Yeah. Now they can't stop thinking about you, right? I don't want to let you go. That's what I'm hearing. I want you more than you know. Yeah, so this could absolutely just be an ex coming through, right? Saying that, like, I want you more than you realize. I want you more than you know. Okay, so let's check out your oracle card here. See, and it's like you had to follow your heart. You had to listen to the music and the melody of your life. And maybe it didn't ring true with someone else, right? And your angels were leading you away to something that was more bountiful, right? Like, you weren't blending into your environment. It was time for you to stand out. It was time for you to be seen. It was time for you to be heard, is the thing that's coming through here. To be heard and to let yourself tell your truth. And I feel like your story helps to heal others. You know, whatever it is that you experienced with this, it's like your story helped to heal others. It's like you saw it from a different perspective. You changed the way you saw it. Maybe at one time you were very hurt by it and you were a victim in it. And now it's like empowered you to be a stronger person. And because of that, you're telling your story to others. And that is helping you be seen and heard and healing others. Right? It's showing others that they don't have to see just the ugly parts, that there's like beauty in the ugliness, right? If we allow ourselves to experience that and see that. And you're getting messages from Source all the time here. I feel like that's another thing, like these people or this person, they want to believe that your abilities are fake, but the longer time goes on, the more they see how real they are. Let's see what this is. Look, the storyteller. I can't make this stuff up. That's so crazy. I have the right to speak because I listen when others speak. Exactly. And that goes back to exactly what I was saying. Like, you feel like I have to defend myself with them because they don't know my story. You know what? You don't have to defend yourself. Right? Yes, it says defend yourself here, right? But I feel like this is that aggression that's coming through. Like, they don't have a right to say what they're saying. That's okay. But at the end of the day, it's not for you to do anything about right now because Source is going to handle it for you. Right now, your focus is on your journey and healing yourself because that's where your power comes from and that's where your rebirth is coming from here. Okay? And you were brought into these people's lives to help heal them. As much as it sounds odd, they healed you by helping you to choose yourself instead of carrying all that heavy weight on you. All right? So this is what I have for you. If this resonates or if you feel like this is your reading, leave a little cat emoji down in the comments and say, I am allowed to tell my story. Let Source know that you call in this higher vibrational energy and leave me a thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, though, and get on out of here. And I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel Source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice, or if you were drawn to this image, then this is going to be your reading on what would they say to you about where you are right now. It's just what people would say. We'll check this out at the end, but first things first, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what does not. Knowing that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to directly connect with your energy to get you out more resonant readings. Also, if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box down below, where you will find the link to send me an email for a personal reading, or I will get you out further information as well as scheduling options. And you can also follow me on over to my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, where it's just a fun, chill hangout session with yours truly, and I just hope to see you there. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. First thing though here is I am going to use the dice to connect with your energy so that you know whether or not this is the reading for you. And then we will find out more about what people would say to you if they could with the tarot. Okay, so source for pile number 2. What can you tell us about pile number 2 so that they know that this is their reading? What messages do you have for us, pile 2, for pile 2, so that they can know that this is their reading? What can you tell us about pile 2, source? Okay, so we have the 10th house, Sagittarius energy, and Uranus. So you have had a recent glow up when it comes to your career. Things are taking off for you. You may have actually just started traveling recently for your job as well, which is awesome. That's a very specific message, but that's all right. This is just saying that there's a lot of change that has happened when it comes to work for you. Just a second. Let me see if I can get that to focus better. Right? So you're either getting a lot of recognition or you've just had a lot of discipline in your life and things are starting to finally change and work out for you here, right? This is a lot of success. This is your public reputation, long-term goals, your structure, your status, your authority in your life, right? We do have fame and expertise. So whatever's going on, it's like you've gained a level of expertise that people are now respecting, right? And so it's been a long journey for you, though, especially with Sagittarius energy here. It's like you've been optimistic about it. It's been about learning, about seeking energy, about learning new things and finding the information that was necessary for your craft, whatever that is. Even if that's just a regular job that you're working at business-wise, you were maybe had to go to business school. You just recently, I keep hearing master's degree, so maybe someone just graduated with a master's degree and now they feel like they finally are getting the respect that they deserve. Right? But there's a lot of ambition here, a lot of optimism, a lot of adventure. There's excess and expansion. We're looking at truth seeking, your luck, your moral, your open-mindedness, enthusiastic, being versatile with the job, being versatile in life in general. But here we definitely have with career. There's learning to be able to go with the flow as things come, learning from your intelligence and allowing yourself to be energetic when it comes to what you're doing. Like you're learning that you really love what it is that you do, right? Maybe you didn't realize you'd love it so much, but suddenly you do. You're a little bit eccentric at times and you're unpredictable, and that's something that works really well for your work. You are a little bit of a rebellious nature, which is awesome because we need more of that in the world. You are all about innovation and change, openness. You made sudden progression. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this is like a sudden change in your career. Like this is maybe a promotion recently or something that happened recently that was very out of the blue, but it was like, oh, finally it's here, right? You're very original. You're very open to people, helping people. You're very much into friendships, and your freedom is the most important thing to you. You do not like to be tied down. And so having a position where you can travel and be free is something that definitely appeals a lot to you, and it's something that you've worked hard for. And so if that's you, then this is going to be your reading. But it's also saying that you worked really hard for this, and to not feel like you don't deserve it. They are saying you absolutely deserve this because you've spent so much time sacrificing good nights out and all this stuff in order to get to where you are, and that's why you're progressing so fast all of a sudden. Okay, so let's get some tarot on it. We'll find out more about what people would say to you if they could. Okay, What would people say to pile number 2, Source, about where they are right now if they could? Okay, what would people say to pile number 2 about where they are right now if they could? Thank you, Source. What would people say about where pile number 2 is right now if they could? Okay. See what comes through. So, Source, what would people say to pile 2 right now about where they are if they could? Okay, thank you. Wow. Yeah, how strong you are. How much you've overcome. How you've tamed your own inner demons about maybe you had an issue with being lazy or unproductive and you've faced those demons and you're no longer letting that be the truth of who you are. Oh, okay. Hold on, let's get some more before we determine exactly what this is. Well, okay, so they're saying here that this is like sexual immaturity, right? So maybe your demons were relationships or people who weren't good for you, right? That is something that's being said here. And that's what they would tell you. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we have the 7 of Wands here. Perseverance. They're like saying how you've persevered through the tough times. Like you've overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of barriers, which we do have that with the 10th house being connected with Saturn energy is all about overcoming your burdens and your obstacles. Yeah, and you've let go of relationships is really what this is pointing out. You've let go of relationships that were taking you away from your purpose. And now you're following your intuition. Right? Now you're following what it is that's good for you. Really listening to that internal insight and taking action based on that and not letting confusion and unclarity guide you anymore. So this could have been someone that you had a physical relationship with that just really clouded your mind and put you in a really odd position in life, right? Like just kind of took over your energy and put you in a place where you weren't able to be productive. And that's what people are saying about where you are right now. Like with your career especially, that's what the topic is here too coming in. While this is your energy, but that's also part of the topic of what's being talked about here. They're talking about how you have never given up when it comes to you getting what you want. And you realize that in order to get to that position, I have to let go of things that are no longer serving me. You know, when the 7 of Wands comes up, when it's in reverse, it's talking about being stuck in lost causes. Right? Getting involved in things that you know aren't good for you. Getting involved in things that you know aren't going to pan out, but still getting involved in it regardless. And here we have it coming out showing that you're no longer doing that. Right? You're no longer doing that. You're no longer allowing past choices to make the decision now. It's like something that you found made you angry, made you reckless, made you confused and fearful of life. You're like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to tame this demon. And you did. You took it by the jaw and you said, look, I'm in charge now. Watch out. Here I come, y'all. Right? And that's what people would tell you right now. Like, it's actually a really positive message. I love that. I love that this is coming through as a positive message. Let me move this out of the way. Let's get some clarifiers out on it. So, let's see what comes through. Yeah, people are talking about how you've healed. Source, maybe please have some clarifiers for pile number 2 here. And here's another thing is that you may see 1111 a lot, right? We have 11 and then we have 11 here with the 7 and the 4. So you may see 1111 a lot. And that's Source talking about how you are ascending on your spiritual journey. On your personal development journey. May I please have some clarifying cards here for pile number 2, Source? Okay. Yeah, you're overcoming this need to be involved with tricksters. Definitely a lot of sexual energy here with all the wands coming through. Maybe sex was like an addiction for you at one point and you didn't realize that and you had to come to terms with that. Or it was just easy for lovers in the past to really determine what you did with your energy. And you're no longer in that position where you're letting people choose for you. Yeah, that was your reversal of fortune. That's why you weren't fortunate in your life. It's almost like they were sucking the luck out of you. You know, it's not like they were energetic vampires, and some of them may have been. This is more or less saying that, like, because you're getting involved with manipulative people, that's why you never had anything go your way in the past. And that's what people would tell you if they could, right? Like, they'd say, like, don't you realize that those people that didn't want the best for you were what were keeping you from being successful? And now you're seeing success, but you are also faced with this decision to choose what was best for you. And that was, you know, wow, okay. Yeah, whereas, like, every time you took a few steps forward, you ended up taking 10 steps back. Felt like there was no progress. They felt like you weren't making progress because of the people you were involved with, right? But eventually you did. Eventually you overcame that, and now you're successful. And they see that, and it's something that they would tell you if they could. Like, they see how successful you become through the hardships. This feels like somebody who wants you to do good. Like, this feels like somebody who's cheering you on. Even if you're not aware of it, or if you are aware of it, like, they're just cheering you on. They want to see you succeed because they know you've been through some difficulties. And now they're seeing you actually get traction in your position. And it's like, this is somebody over there like, yes, go pile 2. You're doing an amazing job. I'm so proud of you. Keep going. Like, I would tell you that, you know, you're so strong because you've been through so much. It's like they feel like you're stronger than they could ever be because you didn't let something that was very awful tear you down. You actually used it as fuel to go the distance. And it had to do with some toxic energy. You let that toxic energy be your fuel instead of letting it make you fall from grace. You used it to make big things happen in your life, to change your life in a way that many people wouldn't have been able to. Many people would have really, really shied away from this, right? And it's interesting, like, we have 15 here and 15. So you might see repeat numbers a lot, or mirroring numbers too, like 15, 51. Right? Because if you put it out like this, it's 51, 15. And so there's like this mirroring energy here. It's like they were mirroring the darkest recesses of your life. And that's what this person would say to you. It's like they see that you had this darkness that you weren't willing to face until you got your heart broken. And while they're really sad that you got your heart broken, they're also so amazed at what you've done in such a short time with that, right? Like, they can't believe that you've come so far because of this. Like, most people would have just laid down and said, no, I'm done. I give up. I can't do this. Like, don't ask me to carry on. Don't ask me to do anything else because I can't. I just simply can't. Yeah, this is a friend. We have dog companionship coming out here with 41. This is someone who's a friend. Like, look, and they're in the darkness cheering you on. It's like, this is someone who's constantly cheering you on. Like, someone who follows your career, someone who follows your social media, but they don't say a lot. And you might be like, why don't they say a lot? No, it's like this person is always praying for you. They're always just wishing the best for you. Let's get one more out here. Yeah. Look, I cannot with you. This is the 14 card. We had 41, 14 come out. I piled 2. I can't with you. I cannot. We have Seahorse with equality. They see you as their equal. Like, they see you as someone that it's like, I went through different things and I learned my lessons. And I feel like if I went through the things that you went through, pile 2, like, I don't feel like I could have carried that weight. But you've come into this place of seeing the world in such a beautiful way and working hard in such a unique way that they just see you as someone that they can look up to in every kind of way, because you've had to sacrifice so much with number 40 coming out here. You may see 444 a lot, right? You have 5 and 5 here. So 555, but 4114 after I just talked about 5115 coming out. I freaking love this. I love this so much. Thank you, Source. I love you so much, Source. You're just so incredible. So incredible. Let's see. Let me please get some more Oracle cards out here for pile 2. Thank you. No! No, look at what flipped over. Perspective, Milky Way. Didn't I just say that? Like, you change your perspective. You see things differently. Oh my goodness. I love this. Thank you so much, Source. Thank you. Like, you see the light and the darkness now. Look at these symbols, right? Dark, and then this darkness, and the light, and the light. Like, that's what they see. They saw you come out of the darkness. This is somebody who's seen you go through it. And now you're shining in a beautiful way. And there's a reason to celebrate here, and they're celebrating you. Can I say that? They're like cheering you on, and this looks like she's just celebrating. Like, yes, do that. Like, you're doing an amazing job. Like, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. I love your reading, Pile, too. You've been through hardships, and there's no denying that. But at the same time, just the energy that's coming through here, this is someone who wants to see you do so good. Right? We have number 66 coming out. Trust in the magic. Right? And number 66 is 12, and that's connected with the Hangman energy. And the Hangman is all about your change in perspective. Like, perspective is such a thing with this person. They would tell you, or these people, this could be, but it feels like one person. It could be a bunch of people who've seen you just overcome a lot too. So just keeping that in mind. But there's like an overwhelming energy coming in right now that feels like one person. Like, your perspective has inspired them in so many ways. And now we have 56, which is 11. So 11, like, that is so trippy. And 12 coming out too. But we have 12 and 11 coming together here. You have make your dreams real. Like, that's what they're watching. They say that. They're like, now you're making your dreams a reality. They would tell you now you're growing and now you're experiencing everything that you wanted to. It's like, I feel like this is someone who never got involved in your relationships. Like, they didn't tell you one way or the other. They just knew that you were so much better than what you were getting involved in. And they just prayed and prayed and prayed that you would figure it out. And then when you did, it was like, they were just like, oh, thank you, Source. Thank you for helping pile number 2. Like, I just want them to do so good in life because they're such an amazing person and they deserve it so much. And that's how they feel. Like, they just feel like you're an incredible being. And they just want to see you succeed, right? And it's like, even though you may have been through different situations, even though neither one of you experienced the same thing, like, you both have experienced something that has drawn you both closer together. Let's get some channel messages for you. So we have, you are not alone. Yeah. They've been there with you from the get-go. I feel like this is somebody who watches you in the darkness, in the shadow, right? In the shadow. Love is on the way. On the way. On the way. Emotional ego problems. This is something that you've overcome. You've let go of people who also have emotional ego problems. Like, that's something that you let go of. You're like, no, I'm not going to deal with that anymore. Divine timing. So I feel like this person's eventually going to show themselves, or you're going to finally know who this is in your life, but it's just taking time right now. It could be a Libra, or you could be a Libra. But this also goes back to what I was saying, like, how this person wants things to be fair. Right? They want things to be fair for you. They want things to be balanced for you, and that's what they've been praying on. Right? So let's check out your card here. Right? This looks like, look, looks like lovers to you. It looks like lovers to me. You have the 2 doves down here, or the pigeons down here, kissing, and then you have these, she's reaching towards his hand, and he's holding her hand. It does feel like love. He's got his sword of truth here, and it's like seeing if this is going to go somewhere. But look at this, like, they had to go through the darkness in order to find one another. They had to experience life, whatever the journey was. Feels like a bridge here and a mountain in the back, and then climbing the bridge, like overcoming themselves. Overcoming the internal struggles. Finding their own strength. Again, right? That idea of strength, but having to go through it in order to get there. And now love is coming. That's what it feels like to me. This card feels like love. The friend. Number 11. Whoa, look at that. We have 11 again. And the friend. And that's what I was saying. Like, this feels like a friend to you that is just like cheering you on. It says, I am my own best friend and magnetize other loving friendships. Oh my gosh. This is so synchronistic, pile 2. So freaking synchronistic. So this is a friend who would say this to you. Hands down. They love you. Okay, they care about you. They want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you continue off in this place of hardships. It's like they've seen you go through it. They've seen you be with those toxic people. And you may not even know who this is, like, or you may know who this is, right? But I do feel like this is someone who lurks in the shadows, just constantly cheering you on, constantly sending you good vibes, good energy. Like, pile 2, you deserve the best in the world. Like, that's how they feel. But that's, if they were in a position where they felt like they could say this is what they would tell you. And how proud of you that they are. Because you've done so much. You've changed so much. You've overcome so much. This is what they would say to you. I loved this reading. If you feel like this is your reading, leave a little bird emoji down below and say, I am balanced in my journey. Yeah, I am balanced in my journey. The flame just went out too. That's why I stopped. I was like, oh. And leave me a thumbs up down below. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, though, and get on out of here. I do want to take a quick second, though, to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, source, my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, pile 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice right here, or if you were drawn to this image during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what would people say to you right now about where you are, if they could. First and foremost, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates, leave what does not, knowing that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing, it does allow me an opportunity to directly connect with your energy to get you out more resonant readings. Also, if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box down below, where you'll find all the links necessary to email me for a personal reading, where I will get back to you with further information as well as scheduling options. And also you'll find the link to follow me over to my podcast at Scatter Love Radio, where it's just a fun, chill hangout session with yours truly, and I really hope to see you there. So that being said, we'll go ahead and get into it, and just let you know that today I'm using the dice to connect with your energy to see if this is your reading or not. So if you resonate with the dice, then this should be your reading, and then we'll get more about what people would say to you if they could about where you are right now with the tarot, okay? So source, for pile number 3, what messages do you have for pile number 3 to let us know that this is their reading? What can you tell us about pile number 3? Source, what messages can you tell us about pile number 3 so that they know that this is their reading? Okay, we have 11th house, Taurus, and the sun energy. You are a very social butterfly is what you are. You're someone who's very stable in big crowds. And you're very expressive and you stand out. And you're okay with that. Like, that's, you know, and it's nothing bad. It's actually very good energy here. You're someone who likes to connect with like-minded people. You like to be in groups that, you know, have similar vibrations as you. You like to be with people who see things the way that you do, or see things similar to the way that you do, right? And that is my AC turning off. I'm going to turn it off because it's not that cold, or it's not that hot in here. You connect with the collective, so you might have a internet business, or you might have a platform that you work on over technology, social media, but this is you fulfilling your hopes and dreams. Your hopes and wishes are coming to fruition currently. You know that you're super protected. You're currently getting praise and followers and recognition. It's like you're now living in what once was considered the future for you. You're actually getting to experience that. You're seeing how your persistence is paying off, and you've been steady and trustworthy to the process. You have endured with tenacity and drive. You're a very reliable person. You like security. You like being safe. There's something about being protected here that you are like on another level with. Like you just know. You're not worried about psychic infiltration. You're not worried about psychic attacks. You're not worried about being put under the spotlight or evil eye. Like none of that really bothers you because you just know that you're protected. You know that no matter what, you can wipe all that energy away by the flick of your wrist. It's out. I don't have to worry about that. You can be stubborn at times, though. Sometimes you are seen as someone who can be materialistic, but it's not that. You just really enjoy your luxuries. You really like what it is that you work hard for. Sometimes you are resistant to change, but I do feel like that's something that also is changing, oddly enough. But you're getting so used to it now that it's like you really have learned to go with the flow. Even if at times you might resist it, now currently you're really learning how to just release and surrender to that. Okay, you do like Artie. I don't know what Artie is. Maybe your name is Artie. Okay, I don't know. But you like arts and beauty and fashion, and you just really enjoy the finer things in life. You're very much connected with yourself, right? And you're seen as someone who connects with yourself. But you have a lot of stamina, vitality. You're always creating. You're very confident. You're very connected to your identity and your individuality. You're very bright, warm. You celebrate life. You're a reliant person. You are a leader. And you're seen as someone who lives from your heart space. You know what your heart wants and you go after it. You pursue that, which is so strong and phenomenal. Not very many people can say that. Most people say it's like, oh, it's just a dream. It'll fade one day. I won't have to worry about it anymore. But the truth is that's just an excuse, right? So let's find out with the tarot what people would say about where you are right now if they could. And I just want to point out that we are connecting with other people's energies here through their perspectives. That does not make the truth of who you are. So if you are getting triggered by that, just remember that that is always a sign of internal healing that you can explore further, and that there's no need to be upset by what comes through with this, because it really is seeing you through the lens of another person's rose-colored glasses, okay? So Source, what would people tell pile number 3 right now about where they are if they could? What would people tell pile number 3 about where they are right now if they could, Source? What can you tell us? Source, what would people say about pile number 3 if they could about where they are right now? What would people say about where pile number 3 is right now if they could? Okay, thank you. All right, Source. What would people say about pile number 3 about where they are right now if they could? Thank you. What would people say about where pile number 3 is right now if they could? What would people say about pile number 3 where they are right now if they could? Thank you. Okay, Source. What would people say about where pile number 3 is right now if they could? Thank you. Right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Empress in the reverse. So this goes back to what I was saying. Sometimes you may come off as materialistic, and so you can be impulsive. So maybe you buy things on a whim, or you just, it seems like, again, it seems like you're not taking time to think about it. And so this may make you seem as somebody who's emotionally disconnected, but that's what they would say right now. They'd say that you're very impulsive and that you're not connecting with them. So you could be someone that's a bit of a hermit. And because you're not out and about like everybody else, they're saying, oh no, pile 3, they're very emotionally distant. We're not able to connect with them the way that we would with other people, because they're just doing things their own way and they're not realizing that they're their own worst enemy. These are people who leave you exhausted emotionally. First and foremost, yeah, these are people who live in a very small mind frame, okay? Like, we're just going to get that right out of the way. All right. But these are people who leave, when you hang out with them or if you spend any time with them, they leave you exhausted. You're like, oh, I have to take 3 weeks to recover from one night of hanging out with you people. So they would tell you that you are somebody who is your own worst enemy. And that you leave yourself in a place where you don't give yourself enough room to grow. Or that you're taking advantage of situation. Right? And honestly, we have 10-10 coming out here. And I know they're both in reverse. But this is Source telling me right now that you're on your path of purpose. Like, you're doing what you're meant to do. Okay? Like, so whatever's going on, you're doing what you're meant to do. But these people do not understand what it is that you're doing. And so they would rather come in and say, like, oh, they're just faking it until they make it. Like, they just like to argue with people and cause problems with people. Or they just like to seem like they know things that people don't. And they're really impulsive and they take action based on that. And they're really in this place of not being able to share love with others. Even though we've tried to love them. We've tried to give them love. We've tried to be there for them. And so it's like, you know, like, they're thinking that you like to control situations because you've been in bad situations romantically before. But what they're not seeing is that your fortune is about to change. So you're about to come up into a very lucky time period in your life. And basically, these people are going to have to eat their thoughts. Like, because everything that they're saying, it's like contradictory to what is about to happen for you. Yeah, they're like saying that you're stuck in the past, right? With this King of Wands in the reverse right here, it's like, oh, pile number 3 is just stuck in the past, and that's why they don't want to get to know us as friends. That's why they don't want to get to know us better. They're just stuck in the past. They've been hurt, and they just think that we're going to do the same thing, and it's like, I feel like the thing is that you tried. You're like, look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, because I realize that you're not the past situation that happened to me. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And then we go back to that. When you actually do spend time with them, you're just exhausted. You're like, I'm so tired. I'm making this right now. It's fine. Excuse me. And now I'm like, feel like I've been drugged through the mud. And I feel like that's exactly how they leave you. This person has a very heavy, heavy energy. Like, they expect people to do things the way that they do. Or this also feels like a group of people to me. Honestly, this feels like a group of people who hang out together. And maybe you have denied them access to your energy, or like you very much limit your access. Their access to your energy, and so they kind of have all these things to say when you're not there, like, oh, look at pile 3 thinking they're better than everyone. Because like when you go out and you shine, right, and you wear your nice things, like say when you go out, like you're not just dressed in your sweatpants anymore or whatever, you know, like when you're at home, like who are you gonna impress when you're at home? Like, that's the question. Who are you here to impress when you're at home? Like, this is my comfy time. Like, I'm going to be comfortable when I'm at home. But when you go out, you probably get dressed up and you look good and you like to put on your makeup and do your hair and put on nice clothes and wear some jewelry. And, you know, if you're a man, maybe you like to cut your beard in a certain way and put beard oil in and, you know, wear a tie or something like that. Like, you just like to get dressed up. You like to look good. You like to feel good, so you make yourself look good because that helps you feel good. And so when they normally see you, if they just come knocking on the door, they just see you in your sweats or whatever, in your yoga pants or in your shorts, and they're like, when they come out, they like see you and how good you look. And it's like, oh, look, they think they're better than us. They like try to outdo us. They try to outshine us. And in truth, look, you have the sun over the sun here. It's like, the truth of the reality is that they're coming from the shadow and you're coming from the light. And so they're stuck in their own emotional pain of feeling like they're not good enough and comparing themselves to you. And that's exactly what's going on here. And instead, it's like they're not in a position where they could ever even come to an understanding of what it is that you're doing. I can barely keep my eyes open right now, pile 3. Like, this is trip. Let me get a drink of water. I'm like over here closing my eyes and talking to you because I can't even keep my eyes open. Wow. Just a really overbearing energy. This is like a low vibrational community is what it feels like. It's just a community that just sees things in a certain way, and you don't see things that way at all. And that's their problem. So it's like, why is it okay, source, I see what you're saying. So they're like giving me this energy. It's like no matter how much you try to convince them that you're on the right path, they don't want to agree with you. But someone else comes in, it's a stranger, they're outside of the energy, and they're doing this, just say like something similar to you, right? And they're doing a very similar, like maybe it's online or something like that, right? We have this 11th house, so like maybe you're making internet money, and there's somebody else that comes in and they do something that's very similar to you, a different niche, and all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, look at them, they're doing so good, like that's so cool. And you're like over there like, yeah, that's what I do. And they're like, oh well, you don't have to make it about you. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like it has to do with the fact that you're so high vibrational, especially with the sun coming out here. Very high vibrational energy. And it's like these people are just mad because you're actually succeeding and they actually know who you are. Like, you're not just some stranger off the street. Like, they know who you are and you're succeeding at something that they themselves could never succeed at. Let's get some clarifiers here. Oh my Lord. I'm so sorry you have to deal with people like this, pile 3. Like, that's so rough. I mean, we can't, that's just people, right? Like, there's always going to be high vibrational, low vibrational, and then a myriad of other energetic people that's going to fill out that spectrum. But it's just when you have people who are very low like this, that just, you know, they don't even think the world of themselves. They just think that their opinion matters over everybody else's, right? Like, but they don't even think that highly of themselves. So this is the one that I caught. We have the Ace of Coins in the reverse here. Yeah, so they feel like you're greedy. Like, again, like I was saying, like you're taking advantage of somebody or something, a situation. And then these came out. So they have the Page of Cups in the reverse here. Yeah. They think that you have no love to give. Like, it's an immature love. Like, you're immature, like that you're putting on a mask when you go out. But I feel like the thing is that they're getting an authentic version of you no matter when they see you. But they think that you're putting on a mask, like that you're that good that you're always putting on a mask. So maybe there's somebody here that's feeding them something behind the scenes, like they're telling them about you. Okay, but here we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse, showing that they have a huge issue with how authoritative you are, right? Like when you go out and how bright you shine, like people naturally gravitate to you because not everybody is so low vibrational, right? Like that's not the truth. Like there's a myriad of the scale here. It's like all over the place, right? And that's the purpose of it. That's what we experience here. And so it's like when you go out and you connect with relatively normal people who aren't so negative all the time, people who are just trying to live their life and be, and it's like they see you shine in front of these people and like, oh, there goes pile 3 being all holier than thou and mighty and this, that, and the other, and you're over there like, what? Like, this is just who I am. Like, you see this version of me all the time, and they're like, oh no, there goes pile 3 trying to get the information and trying to get all the energy and be the center of attention and this, that, and the other. And they're trying to say that you're egotistical, and you're not. And you're not. And we have the 3 Wands here showing that you're making progress. Or you're progressing away from these people. They're no longer going to be a problem in your life. But I do feel like this is a group of people that you're currently around right now, or that are around you, that you're just having a hard time getting away from. Yeah. Yeah, they're obsessed. These people are obsessed. Oh, these people are obsessed. They're like, want to see you start over. They want to see you fail. They want to trick you into believing that you're not as good as you are. But Source is like, not my pile 3s. Not today. Go on. What was peeking right here? Look, the 7 of Swords. Yeah, they want to see you fail. They really believe that what you're doing is like a scheme or a scam, and it's like gonna make them feel better about it or something like that, which is absolutely absurd. That's some people really, really think that they know it all, right? Especially like when you're in a journey like this. Like we have number 11 coming out with Dear and Power. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You're aware of your emotions. You're aware of your energy here. Like, oh, I'm going to have to take a break after I do your pile 3. Like, I'm just honest. Like, we have 11 coming out here. Yeah, you're a very spiritual individual. Look at that. We have Wolf, authenticity on the bottom. You're very authentic. What is coming out here? And you're very stable in your authenticity with number 8 and Turtle, Sea Turtle coming through here. You're just very okay with who you are. And that's why they try to like put this energy on you. It's because they're not okay with who they are. And so it's like, oh, if I can make pile 3 feel a certain way, then maybe I'll feel better about myself. The truth is this person, while they don't think highly of themselves, there's also a belief in there, oh, it's like, well, if I'm not where pile 3 is, then let me bring pile 3 back to where I am, so that way then I can keep up with them. But in reality, like if you ever even step back to their energy where they are, they would never ever make a change. Yeah, look, they're angry. They're angry. We have volcano volatility coming through here. This person is angry. These people are angry at you because you're doing something that they could only dream about doing. Ugh, this energy. I'm like, I'm spent. Like, I am spent, pile 3. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Try to cleanse your energy. Like, that's what I'm going to have to do after this. I got to go cleanse my energy. But I promise you this reading. I promise we'll get through it. What I'm saying here, though, is that when you're dealing with people like this, make sure you always protect yourself. And do not give them any information about what you do. Don't. Just don't. Yeah, look. I cannot with you. I'm done. We have number 11 coming out again. Butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. Do you see this number here? Look at that. Number 11 right there. See that? Yeah, you're transforming. You're constantly transforming. You're constantly changing. Let's get another one. Okay, so you have 2 more coming out. We have koala on the bottom with spirit has a plan. Number 35, which is 8. Okay, and we have scarab beetle spirit. Magic works through you. That's the thing. They see how magical you are when you're out and about. Like how you impact others. Like I said, it's not everybody is this low vibrational. Right? There's a whole spectrum of the scale. And so it's like when you're out and about, you're meeting people who are just trying to get by. And it's not like they're living in a negative place. They're just really trying to do the best they can, right? And be normal humans. And it's like when they see you, they're like, oh, finally, somebody who's just a beautiful person that I can magnetize to. And that's what they do. And that's what makes this person or these people jealous, is because you just naturally become the center of attention without wanting to. And that's what they would tell you, like, why? Well, they have a problem with the fact that you're a leader. You are an authoritative figure. We have number 11 here by 56. 5 and 6 is 11. It says, make your dreams real. That's the other reason that they're mad. Because you're living your dream. You're living your journey. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? I mean, ultimately, that's the purpose of living life, is to live our dreams, to make our dreams a reality. You know? But not everybody is capable of taking that leap. Most people live in fear of that leap because they're so comfortable staying in an uncomfortable position. You know, I tell people sometimes, it's interesting, they want me to say this right now. I'm going to stop because they're not giving me a card. They want me to talk about this. You know, when it gets cold, you know, I grew up in Colorado, so sometimes the winters can be pretty harsh, you know, and they're not always. Like, actually, winter there is very beautiful. It's not always cold. The snow doesn't always last all the time, but sometimes when it gets really, really cold, we will have a lot of snow, and it will get really cold there. And so I was always around people who never wore coats, or they would wear, you know, like girls or women, they would go out and they wear skirts and heels, and they would just wear a tiny little coat that barely covered their arms, and they'd be freezing. And kids would be freezing without their coats on. And me in the wintertime, I'd be all bundled up and be like, look. And people are like, well, you get all bundled up, but why? And I would tell people, because there is no honor in suffering. Stop and think about that for a second, pile 3. There is no honor in suffering, but yet you have people who are stuck suffering in a life that they don't want to live in and feeling like they're doing the honorable thing. There's no honor in suffering. And you saw that, and you chose to find honor in living your journey. That's the difference. Can you please have some more cards for this reading, Source? What else would you like to say, Source? Some oracle cards for pile number 3. I guess you guys aren't. Okay, there we go. I was like, I guess you guys aren't going to get one right when I was about ready to put it down, and then it flies out. See, we have Mars energy. Again, this aggressive energy coming out. Move forward and defend self. Right? You had to move forward and defend yourself from those aggressive people. We have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy here with spirituality, emotion, intuition, and compassion with water. You had to listen to your intuition in this situation. And you did good. What? Oh my gosh. It's so tired that when I looked at that, it took a minute to register what it even was. But we have Dreamtime Creation coming through here for you. Make your dreams real. You're singing your life into existence. This is why this group of people have such an issue with you. You're living your dream. You are making it a reality. You didn't find honor in suffering. You're like, I want to find honor in living. And you went and you began to live. You're not going to live life like everyone else. If you want to be different from everyone else, then we have to learn to live differently than everyone else. But not everyone understands that. I mean, it's simple enough, right? But sometimes simplicity is just another complication for people. I feel like you would be a fun person to talk to, Pile 3. Like, for real. Just saying, like, just your energy. I feel like you'd be a fun person to talk to. You have a very sound mind on your head. And in your head. On your head? I don't know. You just have a very sound mind. And the thing is this, like, with people like this, like, you'll give when you need to, but you don't overextend yourself because it's already exhausting. Family matters. This could be family. Could be family. Your whole family is like that with you. Wow. That's rough. I'm sorry. Holding yourself back. Yeah. They're hoping that you'll hold yourself back. That's what this is. And I feel like for a time you did and you stopped because it's like, it's not serving me anymore. It's time for fun. Yeah. You're trying to help others live from this open place and they're just not getting it, right? They're just like, what? What's fun? Divine Feminine. Yeah, you're a very creative person. You're very much in this place, you know, and when you have the Empress, when she's in the upright, she's talking about being the Divine Feminine incarnate, right? Having that beautiful energy. And so you have Divine Feminine coming through here. It's like, I feel like you are an embodiment of the Empress in the upright, but this is what people would say to you if they could. They would tell you their own internal feelings about the situation, which aren't really that fun. 4th house, we have Cancer energy here. Yeah, again, pointing towards this is family, parents, family roots. This could be your siblings. This is close to home. Whoever this is, it's close to home. It does feel like multiple people, though. It could be just one person, but it does feel like a group of people. Like I was saying, a community. Right? It feels like a community. Let's check out what your card is here. See what's coming through. You know, look, she's like a little girl in this picture. I feel like you've had to reconnect with your inner child. What did I say at the beginning? Like, you don't have a problem expressing your inner child and having a good time. Like, she's got her little doll here, and then it's like the little cherub is like, come on, let's do this. Let's go over here. And she's over here creating. What does she have? She has like she's sewing. Yeah, you've like had to sew something like together again to mend a broken heart, to fix something again. This looks like a shell, but I think it's a rock. But it looks like a conch shell to me. It's like listening to your heart is what I was getting from that. And realizing that the whole world answers to your beck and call when you sit in stillness. That's what this feels like. But I feel like here the important thing is really connecting with your inner child. And that's That's what really has people on the edge, is because you're willing to have fun. And then you have the spiders up here. Again, look, we have spider spirit. And then you have the spider up here in the corner. Right? Again, that idea that you're building, you're creating your life. You're building your web. And then the leaves falling here. You're letting go of the things that aren't serving you. A whisper in the wind. That's what I'm hearing right now. A whisper in the wind. Like you're just here for a short time before you move on to the next thing. And when you move on, it's like they're going to be sad that they didn't connect with you deeper, because your absence is going to be greatly felt. The creator. Wow. Wow, that is so intense. Like, I love playing the wonder-filled game of life creatively. The creator. Creation. You're making your dreams a reality. You're creating your life. Oh, wow. What was I saying? Like, she's like the divine feminine because of the creative energy, right? She's the womb. That's what it is. You're birthing something into life. That is so intense, pile 3. These piles today have been incredible. That's amazing. That is so amazing. I love your reading. I am really spent though, pile 3, so I think I have to go. So this is what I'm seeing for you. If you feel like this is your reading, leave me a little spider emoji down below and say, I am the creator of my reality and the captain of my soul. So you can let Source know that you're calling in the highest vibration of your energy. Leave me a thumbs up down below as well. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there and get on out of here. I want to take a quick second, though, to thank your guide, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this lovely message, pile 3. And until next time, stay human. Bye.